that final station. That final station's name is University of Connecticut versus University of Hawaii. And honestly, it's hard to give Hawaii, I don't want to say too much credit here, but it's hard to anticipate them overcoming the massive ping issues that they've been having all season.
Well, I mean, if it is true Overwatch and if the ping balancing issues that they've been talking about resolving has been overcome, this should be quote unquote an even match. Hopefully they will be on a West server out of Los Angeles or Nevada. Maybe even Seattle might be a server as well. However, we'll see right out the gate. And, you know, we'll look to see what Shark Tier, by the way, also plays for the Rocket League team. They're actually the captain of the Rocket League team. What the heck is going on right now?
A little bit of fraternization and also a little bit of brawling as these teams looking to go head to head. It's gonna be Hawaii getting these first kills, and it's gonna be Sharketeer managing it. But now, as we see, Hawaii starting to crumble a little bit as they lose their second tank. Your boy Wing's gonna be the next to fall for Connecticut. And with this, it looks like Connecticut might be trying to lean in a little bit aggressively here, but Hawaii not giving them any purchase for it. Neither team so far making their way to point, both trying to duel here, but Hawaii eventually takes up residence.
Well, hello, Sharketeer. Did not know that you played Overwatch as well. So this is the University of Hawaii at Manoa, the Rainbows, still as their collegiate team that we see progressing on teams. Look as well. Beautiful ant matrix coming out from Pascal though.
Now, despite the ping issues, you can still coordinate an attack just like that's going to be one Lucio taken down, and now University of Hawaii had nowhere to run, and now it's just going to be the late stagger on the match.
Well, we'll see what they can bring to this, but yeah, 26% off the bait, and now we're looking at Kibo and Sharketeer maybe being able to combo with the Amp Matrix and the Dragon Strike combo.
Yeah, huge opportunities here. We do see Kibo drop that ability, and it is going to actually be eating the dragons. Not able to get the benefit is Sharketeer. A lot of deployables being taken down here, but now it's going to be the Blizzard that comes out next to University of Connecticut. Going to be definitely avoiding that, nobody getting frozen out, but Connecticut still trying to just find these kills on the side of Hawaii. Hawaii does not have control at this point. Connecticut continues to build up, although the contest does come through.
Well, we'll see what they can bring to this contest, and they actually flip the point in the interim. We'll see what this self-destruct does out of Masson Chaser.
Not a whole lot is going to be the answer. Gets them killed as a matter of fact. Ray's going with the counter pin onto your boy Wings, taking them down, and UConn actually does get the flip. Now 43% for both teams, but that's going to tick up for UConn.
Well, we'll see what they can actually do right now, because, you know, percentage gain right now actually really equal. Rocket or Meteor Strike available from Nels here on the Doomfist. Masson Chaser does have the self-destruct and the sound barrier available from Newt as well, so they have tools to get on this point in a hurry.
Say if they utilize those tools, University of Hawaii, as you mentioned, have quite a few ultimates on hand, but Nelson able to get an early kill on the Sharketeer, peeking their head out just a moment too soon. And with that, going to be Peg with their life sound barrier now from UConn, trying to keep themselves in the fight just a little bit more. Ray's throwing down the Earth Shatter, doesn't quite connect with it. Your boy Wing's going to be matching with one of their own. And this is looking very deathmatchy here today, Billy.
I mean, everybody's choosing the heroes that they want to play, and you know, the kills are going back and forth. But Tiz guys right now is having nothing of it, and your boy Wings has been commanding space. So right now, overtime trigger from University of Hawaii. Beautiful remake kill from Tiz guys. This should be UConn taking the point.
Hawaii trying to strike back with that Blizzard, but it's gonna be too little too late. Trav able to be frozen up. Nobody there to follow up except Masson Chaser, but that's already after the bell's rung.
I'm still reeling from the fact that Hawaii might be playing a Rocket League player in Overwatch. And I mean, I'm an Overwatch caster. let's be fully honest here, and I cast Rocket League on the side. And I do it for EGF, and I do it for a couple of other organizations as well. And Sharketeer, that is not a typical name that you see. So
Yeah.
I'm waiting for confirmation from Justin, the manager from the University of Hawaii, to answer me here, because I want to know if this is the same player. Because if it is, we need to open a restaurant, because I'm a chef and he's a dual threat player and I'm a dual threat caster, and let's see what we can build. It's a beautiful synergy. I'm living for this.
At times it's tough when you're having to recycle players. Not going to be minding it too much if Sharketeer is able to bring up the pain, however. And just like that, Samo able to start things off strong for Connecticut, but immediately gets taken down in return. It's going to be Reinhardt versus Reinhardt. Nelsa able to back up your boy Wings, however, with a little bit added oomph, but then following up with a kill onto your friend, a Lemon Shark there, Billy. It's all up to the Diva. Mash and Chaser just trying to buy as much time.
Yeah, I think it was a speed boost difference. I think that, looking at Newt, may have pressed their speed boost a little bit too early, and Trav 4V may have just saved it to aggress onto the aggressors from the Rainbows. And now progression going towards University of Connecticut. The Huskies are looking to secure the high ground here. Look at this far side rotation though.
University of Hawaii really trying to make full advantage of this map. Pin goes in from Razelands, a little bit wild, but now Pascal throwing in the Amp Matrix from on high, trying to get more advantage and finding it with the rest of their hit scan players. But really, University of Hawaii not able to contest this, or perhaps not willing to contest this. His guy now going to be chasing down, trying to pick up any extra kills they can.
Yep, it's just cleaning from now, and it's just holding percentages and holding ultimates and just rotating him in the best possible position. Hebo swapping off of the Baptiste and going to the Mori right now. I mean, this is desperation tactics coming out from the Rainbows. You're looking for self-defense and high noon. Nels, if they get into the right position, can absolutely decimate Hawaii because they don't have the immortality barrier anymore.
Even without proper positioning, Nels able to just take the shot onto Lemon Shark. It looked like the wall went up first. Unsure if the shot was just a little bit wide or if it just rang before the wall was up. This guy's going to be sending the bomb and getting 2-4 at University of Hawaii. Going to be sent back to spawn.
Yeah, pretty much done and dusted right now. You got the Shatter ready to go. You're going to have Amp Matrix if you take any kind of decent damage going through this. And you'll probably get the tack visor, so this is not good for the Hawaii Rainbows.
And the 3-man Shatter coming online. It's going to be the Blizzard thrown out, but Lemon Shark activates it just a moment too late. You didn't check your corners. That's what happens when you don't check your corners. Your boy Wings comes in, creeps in the back line, and breaks your back.
Well, easy first round from University of Connecticut, despite the early capture percentage coming from the Rainbows out of University of Hawaii, Manoa. Oh, I'm looking for a little bit more out of them. I'm looking for, a little bit more stabilization. I mean, Nelson was just having a wonderful day here on the Cowboy. And yeah, I mean, we're just looking for some kind of positive response out of the Rainbows. Maybe looking for the flankers, maybe getting a little bit more aggressive into the back line of UConn. The Huskies, though, they've got a decent Diva player being able to get back and mitigate damage in a hurry. So, maybe running the Cowboy here might be an option for them to be able to throw that stun up, take the DM out of commission for a few seconds, and let the burst damage come in. I think that's their one win condition right now that they have to worry about. But, we'll see what they can do here going into our next map.
Yes, as you mentioned, the next map, it is going to be Eichenwald. And I want to reflect a little bit about what you said, Chef Billy, because sometimes you talk about, having to burst down that Diva, make her use that Matrix, and then take advantage of that when that resource is gone. A lot of that goes into the ebb and flow of these fights, which I know it's a point we keep coming back to, but that's a lot harder to read when you're, even a fifth of a second behind your opponent, like the Hawaii certainly has the potential to be. I'm not here to make any excuses for them. I think that their skills stand the test all their own, but it is a consideration you kind of have to take in your hand while you're looking at these teams.
Well, if I take the Rocket League cast that I did for University of Hawaii, They dealt with the ping just fine, and even though the other team complained about the ping in the beginning, they actually came out with a 3-0 victory. So, ping be damned.
Okay.
You know, they can do what they can do, and they've been practicing against these other teams on ping. So we're hoping that they're playing on a West Coast server right now, but if it's not, you know, they're probably looking at about, what, 145 to 180 ping. So it's a little bit of a difference, yes, but it's still less than a second. So you have time to react. If you place your teammates in the right position, you can actually work against the ping. I play on European servers all the time. In Overwatch, I'm sitting mid-flat right now, so, you know, I'm not worried about the ping issues. They just have to play smarter. It's not really against what they're going up against the ping. It's about how they react to the ping and how they play with that little bit of stricture against their playing time.
Absolutely fair, and speaking of that smarter play, perhaps sending your Wrecking Ball and Diva in with very little backup is not going to be the intelligent type of play we need to see here immediately. Both tanks get burned down. University of Connecticut going to be earning a little bit of ult charge for their efforts.
Well, I mean, if I'm University of Hawaii, okay, I'm not depending on the tracking heroes. So you're not relying upon who can track and who can follow through based upon what is basically 160 millisecond difference. If you're looking at a 20-second or 20 millisecond ping versus a 180 ping, a Lucio should never win against a ball with the adaptive shielding. You should not see that ever happening. So this is probably more than likely a ping difference right now, because there are differences, but you can work through them. You can figure out the stagger. You can figure out the delay. From somebody that played many, many years of competitive Overwatch, you deal with the ping as it is. I consistently play on 75 ping, so you can get around somebody that's sitting on, you know, a half a block away from the server versus somebody that's, 300 miles away from the server. It can work. You just have to be able to work around the restrictions that there are there.
Just like that, this fight already going underway. Both members being pulled from the sky for University of Hawaii, and it's taken them quite a bit to get even into this fight. They lose their Genji, they lose their Ana next. Just like that, the rest of their team seems to be falling in place.
But they have Nanoblade going into this next fight. And if you can pull out the immortality barrier early enough, mainly from, waiting for Mashin Chaser self-destruct, you're going to have to throw that out if they get that up in time. Then you can go with the combo behind that and take the point.
See if they have the wherewithal to enact that plan. Pascal going to be throwing in the amplification matrix, trying to get the damage in. There is the immortality field. It gets taken out immediately. Lemon Shark going to try to be the game changer here. Eventually gets taken down. Does take down one Reinhardt at the cost of that. An expensive investment, however. UConn not out of things just yet. That Lucio trying to make that McCree's life as hard as possible. This guy has the self-destruct, throws it high up into the sky. What are they able to find? Just one, but that's going to be the Diva. This looks like things might be turning around in favor of Connecticut, continuing to fly around. This guy's actually hovering over that Ryan. Earthshatter barely able to avoid it, and just like that, Connecticut managed to hold, giving up only just under half.
Yeah, and they still have an ultimate left in the bank, and you've got Amp Matrix coming up once again. So, the Ping Shark rearing its ugly head again, and if you have any kind of chance of getting on this point right now, you're looking at self-destruct to pull out Pascal's immortality field, and then Sharketeer.
Oh no!
On the flank.
Not again.
Oh my god.
At least this time it wasn't failure to check the corners, it was failure to check your ceilings. They didn't expect that Reinhardt to be ready to pop down off the high ground, so at least it's not the same mistake. It's a very similar mistake, but it's not the same one.
Still just as deadly, Sir W.
Yeah, it is.
Oh my god. My heart's crushed right now. And Overwatch, unfortunately, unlike Rocket League, which I mentioned before, was, you know, a little bit more than dealing with that. Look at this. Just the flank shatter behind them. Yep, done, dusted. See you later. Goodbye.
Yeah, and part of that's just realizing you don't see a giant square shield in front of you, and part of it's just not being aware enough of your surroundings to see that Reinhardt anywhere. It's an unfortunate position, but now University of Hawaii has to have a near perfect hold if they even want to come up with the points.
Well, looking at what they're bringing out right now, I don't hate what I'm seeing. I think they need, well, I guess they do have a sniper in Lemon Shark on the Hanzo, and they're also going to have vision with the sonic arrows as well. So not all is lost right here. You're gonna have the res available as well, so you're gonna have 7v6. But how do the tanks deal with the barrage coming in from a Cowboy and Soldier 76?
Going to be very difficult. That consistent damage can come through very easily for those heroes, as now Connecticut going to be leading out. It's that Rhine Demon. They're going to be going through that small health kit room initially, not allowing themselves to be too exposed should there be any flankers. Of course, there's not, we know with hindsight, but they don't know that yet, at least not until those selections come online. Connecticut going to be making a rather forward march towards that point, eventually stifled up in this little room, just allowing those rockets to be reined in, and Hawaii are going to be able to get a couple kills early on because of it. Samo, Pascal both taken down, and Hawaii now just trying to find any exit kills that they can.
Well, Sir W, the sonic arrow providing the vision is exactly what they needed right there. So if you can continue to know what's coming your way, know the pathing that they're taking, that's where we will see the most value come out from the Rainbows.
We see now Samo holding with this sim, going to be using that Rhine shield for cover and looking to get immediately into the face of Connecticut. Connecticut didn't look like they were quite ready for that.
Oh my god!
Sharketeer dropping 2 with that rocket barrage. The immortality field not able to come out fast enough. Lemon Shark with a palm to the Lucio, and Sharketeer apparently can only be killed by themselves. It's going to be the dragons that strike across.
Well, there's still a chance for them to take the point, but enough losses happened out of Hawaii. Oh boy. UConn. Yeah. I think they're holding their dithers right now and looking for the optimal angle to get in.
Well, they're certainly going to be seeming to struggle a little bit with that. They have not seemed to learn their lesson about hiding up in this small room. Nelson going to be taken down, and University of Hawaii now has man advantage. Mash and Chase are going to be earning that gravitic flux. Going to be activating it as well. Ryan, Diva, both lifted up into the sky. Lucio as well to follow. Immortality field has to be forced out. Means that Pascal's utility not going to be available later on in this fight, but Samo does have the opportunity, laying in that proton barrier. Going to be looking to lean in with that left click, cutting so much damage as they're able to get it charged up. Right now, not quite able to connect as reliably as they want. Finally, Connecticut gets these kills, and that is going to be the progress they need. That's going to be it, going 2-0 up now.
Yeah, that was all done. Once Symmetric got the photon barrier online, that's completely game over, GG's, and you're going next. And even though we saw a great stand coming out of Sharketeer and the University of Hawaii, once everything was laying into their favor, I mean, you could not overcome the ultimate deficit. So, you know, 2-0 lead right now to UConn. I think that the ping difference right now is absolutely laying into this right now, because if they're playing on equivalent ping, I think that we're having a much closer match. But we'll see what the Rainbows out of University of Hawaii can do. But UConn showing their class right now, just not letting up off the jugular of the Rainbows.
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly what you need to do in some of these situations. Just no mercy for your opponents. Hopefully, though, University of Hawaii gets a moment to catch their breath without the gnashing teeth of Connecticut on it. We're going to find out after this quick break, folks, so make sure you stick around. Hello and welcome back, folks. No time to dawdle, as we've already booked our flights and flown all the way to Hanamura. Once again, University of Connecticut versus University of Hawaii. Neither of which, if my knowledge of geography goes, Billy, are located in Hanamura or Japan at all.
A little bit of pre-knowledge here. So I cast a lot of Rocket League for the EGF, and Sharketeer actually plays and is the captain for the Rocket League team for the University of Hawaii, and is their main DPS. So, lots of trademarking, lots of comboing, lots of team sharing here going on for Hawaii. And, you know, all of us aside, we watched the Overwatch League finals happen from University of Manoa in Hawaii, and yeah, so these players were actually exposed to a lot of what was being brought there by the pros from the Overwatch League. So I was hoping that, you know, maybe they gleaned some natural advantages, but the ping might just be a little bit too much for them to overcome tonight.
We'll certainly be finding out. An early kill for Hawaii seems to mean that they might be able to lean in here on this first point. Flashbang goes out, protecting their teammate from Sharketeer, at least protecting the baby Diva from them, but UConn still swinging in a little bit too heavy.
Well, UConn is just ready to do everything they need to do to get a full hold here on point A, and, you know, their complement of heroes is all about denying any kind of ingress onto the point. So, Hawaii, you know, after you get your photon barrier, after you set up your next teleport, make sure that you deploy it and then go over to a Pharah, because they have really nothing to defend against that. Well, I lied. They have 2 hit scans. Maybe a Sombra might be the way to go.
Either way, University of Hawaii might have to adapt here. It's going to be the high noon coming out from Nelsa, not able to find anything because of that proton barrier, just forcing everybody onto one side. Hawaii immediately getting torn apart at least a little bit here as Connecticut continues to try to lean in. Your boy Wings will be trying to get a few swings, and Newt taken down by that self-destruct, and just like that, it looks like Connecticut once again holds firm.
I thought they had the point there. I thought that the rotation of ultimates was actually really keen coming out of Hawaii. However, they just get stymied by the onslaught of all the abilities coming out right now. So, you hold the old barrier coming out from Mash and Chaser with its gravitic flux. The immortality is going to have to play huge here once they launch it through. Oh my God! What a slam!
The Earth Shatter coming in big from Wings, and with that, just absolutely leading in, hitting the entire team of University of Hawaii on the chin.
60 seconds.
Yeah, and I mean, they didn't have to expend anything out of that fight. I mean, Samo let loose with the TAC Pfizer early into that fight, but your boy put down a filthy shatter and actually halfway to their next one. So, I mean, if the Rainbows have any chance right now, you have to get onto the point, lift everybody up with the gravitic flux, and then put down the amp matrix to pour that extra damage in.
We'll see if that's something that they can achieve here, or even contest this high ground that Connecticut is holding. We see Rays continuing to try to roll around. You have to assume to try to get some sort of advantage, knock people off, dislodge, create some chaos, as those wrecking balls are known for. Nelsa, they're throwing in the high noon, trying to catch out whoever they might. That Mercy able to break contact, but Kibo not so lucky. Nelson now laying the damage down even more, taking down the McCree. Now looking for the Sigma. Gonna be 3 seconds left. It doesn't look like anybody's gonna be able to touch from Hawaii. In fact, they won't, and now Hawaii has to have a perfect hold just to stay above water.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. I'm not trying to be any kind of shady person here, but you know what we're seeing out of UConn right now and Hawaii, I mean, just absolute filth. Nels absolutely had the best of the Deadeyes right now. I don't care about this play in the small Overwatch, even though your boy Wings on 50 health just absolutely cleave through everything. Look at this. the wherewithal to hold until they saw the proper skull outside of the immortality barrier. That is beautiful play. And look at this, the cleanup on the outside. Yeah, Pascal gets the final blow there. However, it was all set up by that judicious holding of the Q from Nels, waiting for the cooldowns to happen, waiting for the deployables to wear down. And I mean, one tick, and that's all she wrote.
Absolutely. And now that we only have one tick for University of Connecticut to achieve, that means that every fight is potentially one fight territory. One win for Connecticut basically means that this whole series is wrapped up with a nice bow for them. As we take a look, Ryan Diva going to be coming out of the gates. No big surprises there. Samo wouldn't be surprised if we see that sim teleport directly to, or if we just see a quick rollout. Doesn't look like it's going to be the quick rollout. In fact, it's going to be the teleporter. But now, as we tune out here, Nelsa on this Reaper makes a lot of sense. If you're able to get your team and nestled nice and neatly onto point, that Reaper is going to make it even harder to push into. They set up the teleporter, but don't even go for it. They just ignore it. Already see their opening. Rays taken down. Hawaii has no defense. This is looking so good for UConn already. There has to be a Hail Mary pass come in from University of Hawaii, but that does not seem likely. Immortality Field going down already. Tiz guy now taking down Lemon Shark. Sharketeers able to get just one, but that does not seem like it's going to be enough. We see supports flying across the ceiling here, not because they're dying, but just because they're trying to use those abilities to stay alive. Baptiste and Lucio both going to be falling. That third tick ticking ever upwards. Nelsa taking down Rays, and just like that, it looks like UConn good to hold here. Eventually will be an amplification matrix. Not even going to be necessary. UConn takes this rather quickly.
In the words of Diva, GG's. I mean, that was just comprehensive. They only knew that they had to get one tick to win the entire series. There you go. Full credit to them. My word. UConn absolutely decimated the Rainbows out of University of Hawaii, Manoa. And quick 3-0 to end the night. Beautiful night of Overwatch. However, 3-0s seem to be the tenor of the night.
Well, that is certainly true for the back half of tonight. Earlier on, we saw some 1-3s. I think 3-1s maybe. If I'm taking a look back at my notes, I believe it was the William and Mary versus Cincinnati, as well as Siena versus Niagara. So some decent length to some of these games as well. But no, finishing the back half up on some speedier games. I'm sure that some of these teams won't mind that, just looking to get the job done.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking for interview coming out of a victorious UConn team right now. So we'll see who we get into the interview booth. However, we will be taking a quick little break, and we'll be back with you guys in just a few seconds.
Hello, everyone. We are back in our final interview segment of the night. We're sitting here with ya boy Wings, also known as Dev. Dev, hello. How you doing?
Doing pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing pretty all right. A little bit winded after watching y'all do that speed run, though. I think I got surrogate sprints or something coming along through my lungs. But let me ask you here, because Hawaii's been one of those teams where, you know, they haven't been perhaps the most threatening. For Connecticut, did y'all have any special preparation when y'all saw it was Hawaii, or was this just another day of standard prep for you folks?
I mean, there was the prep going into it was pretty standard. I did preach the fact that it was the latest game we've played, so we kind of had to be there mentally or just awake, because I defined it as a trap game, even though, you know, you look at Hawaii's lower down the standings, but you just don't want to like give an inch to anyone, basically.
Fair enough.
All right, so first question out the box for me. Sharketeer had your guys' name on a platter all night, getting early entry frags into fights, and then you guys turning the fights on their head. How impressed were you with their player that played on Hanzo the majority of the night?
I mean, I think all of them did pretty well. You know, Sharketeer really did get us a couple times. He definitely punished us more than some other teams have. And I mean, I think he's just a really good player.
So here's the funny thing. Sharketeer is actually the Rocket League captain for the Rocket League team from University of Hawaii. That's like not even their main game. Just found that out a couple minutes ago because I actually cast Rocket League for EGF, and he is like an insane aerialist and like mechanical master in Rocket League. So the fact that you guys kind of got owned a little bit by a Rocket League player, how does that feel?
I mean, it doesn't feel bad at all because I think we finished the game in 20 minutes anyway, so.
Yeah, I that was my follow-up statement after that. Seriously. Because you guys actually, oh, I see the MTD there. Okay, so I had to lay into that as well. The shatters were fat. The positioning was good because I'm a main tank player myself. And I was actually talking before you actually came into our channel. He's like, he looks like me. And we're like built the same, like big boys. Big boys like to play tanks. So going into this, you saw quite a different look from Hawaii. You didn't say the same traditional compositions coming out of the tank line from Hawaii. So, you know, when you saw this coming onto the field, when you saw they try to go a little bit more mobile, how did you deal with that?
I mean, we just we basically tried to outpace them or tried to jump on opportunities. Like if you saw on Hanamura there, whenever they really pushed out, we just jumped straight on top of them. That was that shatter right in that bottom right room. It's just basically, it's something that I think we've been really good at is just adjustments. So,
okay, so where do you guys see you guys finishing up in the EGF for your region? Because you kind of have a dagger on your back right now. University of Colorado has actually called you out in the early season, saying that you were one of the only teams that they were actually worried about because of the main tank play. Because the main tank role for University of Colorado actually varies around just a little bit, and they've got a new person in there, but Ruby is probably one of the best off tanks in the EGF. So how do you see yourself matching up against the University of Colorado Buffaloes? Tank line versus tank line.
You're not gonna like my answer. I really haven't looked at Colorado, and it's not because I disrespect them. I guarantee you they're a very good team, but they're not on our schedule, so I really haven't thought about it.
You probably should be looking at VODs then, because end of season is going to be coming up very soon, and with your position and with their position, you guys might be on a collision course. So, if you have one strength to define your team, and this is where I like to get into like the nitty gritty of it. Do you prefer the rush over a dive versus a holding defense? Where is your strength lying right now?
I mean, I think we've definitely leaned into the rush. It's much easier, especially since we're pretty new. I can't even call us new anymore because we've been together for
You're
about a month
not
and a
new.
half.
No.
We're like a month and a half in. We leaned into the rush a lot, as you can see, but it's I'm not gonna give everything away.
Of course not, but still, for journalistic experience here, what do you think your odds are of finishing, top 8, top 4? Give me your thoughts.
I mean, we feel pretty good, being 4-0 at the halfway mark, I believe, because it's 8 weeks, right?
Yes, sir.
I think I'm confident in us winning our next 4 games. We still got to prepare, still got to be good. Still got to prep for every opponent like they're the best team on planet Earth.
I got one more question.
Yeah.
Before I throw it over to the shoutouts from Sir W. Do you have an aerial threat other than a diva?
Why do you need another aerial threat than a diva?
Really? Echo. 1. Especially against a Colorado team and other teams in other conferences. 2, a Pharah that can blow apart your rush defense if you get too overcommitted, which we saw a few times. And this is a main tank player. I'll put that caveat in there. You push in a little bit too far a couple of times. So what happens if you push in too far and you see an Echo get into your black line, get a copy, and absolutely decimate everybody behind you?
Well, I thought you guys were gonna mention him, but I'll mention him. I'll raise you a contenders champion in my really good hit scan. We'll keep dealing with it the way that we deal with it, and if it changes, it changes.
I'm glad you brought it up because I was hoping to hear that from you, but you brought it up. You have the MTG juice, and I love it. So good luck in your following games. Do you have any shout outs, any call outs that you want to throw
I
out
got
to
I got
the community?
I got 2 shout outs. I got one for my teammates over at LSFC. We got a playoff game in GGNA tomorrow, and I know a couple of guys are watching, so I'm excited for that. I'm also gonna shout out my mom. My mom does
Oh.
not watch Overwatch. She does not understand at all. But she called me today, and she's like, "You guys are playing Hawaii, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "I think you're gonna win."
Oh,
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 that's the
yeah, boy.
best.
And that means a lot to me because I know some parents aren't very supportive of their kids playing video games a lot, but my mom really does support me.
I am the internet dad, and I support you because I'm 43, and my kids play esports, and I cast esports, and I love what you guys do. The energy that you guys bring is absolutely huge. So even if your mom doesn't, I support you. But God darn it, that's really beautiful. So yeah, beautiful stuff. Sir W, anything to follow up with?
No, we already got to the shoutouts, but your boy Wing do want to give you, Dev, I should say, I apologize. Do want to thank you for coming in, hanging out with us, answering a few questions, just goofing around in general. We always appreciate hearing from the players. And I always like to say this, I'll take it from my co-caster, FBI Tugboat. We hope to see you back in the interview booth soon, but you gotta win, so make sure you keep up that main tank diff.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. You take care, my friend.
You too.
And with that, Billy, we are finally at a conclusion of today's games. The University of Connecticut coming up with a clean 3-0 over University of Hawaii. And a quick game, but boy, today has been a long one with some teams breaking some streaks, some teams maintaining their streaks, and just some good Overwatch play all around.
Yeah, I hope Dryad is okay as well.
Yes.
In the back of my mind right now, because that's the reason why I'm here. So Dryad, hope that you let us know that you're okay. But beautiful day from the EGF, and we're getting into the back half of the season now. Mm-hmm. So it's all to play for. Every single map counts. And if you're not playing for that, then what are you doing here? That's the real question you need to be asking yourself. I still think that University of Colorado, because I have a slight bias towards Ruby because I've been following them for so long. And, their preseason conversation that I had with them, they have a serious fire lit under their backside. And we saw it come out tonight against RIT, who is a very game squad. They are just not willing to let any point go awry. So if I'm looking towards the end game right now, University of Colorado is probably my team that's going to have to be toppled down. We have a couple other teams on the rise as well. But, you know, that is the platinum standard to go for. That's the black Amex card to go for. And Sir W, hopefully we will get a chance to cast again. I don't know when I'm going to be back in Overwatch, but it's been a fantastic night with you, my friend.
It's always been a fantastic night casting with you, my friend Billy, as well. And folks, make sure you keep eyes out for all the fantastic teams we saw here tonight. We hope to see you next week. But until then, stay safe and take care, everybody.
Hey guys, love y'all.